The ball is on the 25, and it is 1st and 10. Welcome back to the show. Today is all things Detroit Lions. We're going to look back at 2024, review the offseason, and then project into 2025. Metro, are you ready to go?
100%, as you mentioned, all things Detroit Lions. Let's hop into it.
All right, Metro, it's time to review 2024. And Detroit Lion fans, this is going to be a little bit painful, okay? But let's review the season first before we get into the playoffs. The season, we had a lot. I think it was the best season ever by Detroit standards. We won the NFC North. We finished 15-2. Came in first out of all points scored in the NFL, 564 of those, and then points allowed. Finished 7th, even with a really hurt defense. This team was exceptional last year in all aspects of the game. If they weren't hurt going into the playoffs, who knows how great they could have been. Metro, what was your take on the 2024 season for the Lions?
Yeah, it was a tale of two halves. Beginning of the year, healthy, everything was going smooth and going great. Back end of the season, every single game, it felt like another player was getting hurt and banged up. And you get to the playoffs, super high expectations, but realistically speaking, with how many injuries they had, they were super limited. In terms of some general statistics, they ranked first in points per game with 33.1, second in yards per game at 415.7, and they ranked top 5 and number 1 in a lot of different offensive statistics. Top 10 and honestly top 5 in every single major rushing statistic, and passing the football wise, they were dominant all year long. Defensively speaking, about middle of the pack in some statistics, but 11th in opponents' points per game, 13th in opponents' touchdowns per game. They were good on third down, good on fourth down, solid in the red zone, good in run defense, and good in pass defense. Only thing that I will say they were not very good at was their sack percentage was 5.46, which is the 30th lowest in the league. I think a lot of that's due because of Hutchinson's injury and just not having a ton of depth in that edge rushing room. So in general, 15-2, unfortunate playoff loss, but injuries really rattled their season. And of course, in the offseason, some crazy things happened with their coordinators. Both of them are now at the door.
Yep, well said. You want to transfer into the offseason? I think it's good timing.
Yeah. Do you want to touch really quickly before we get to that on your coaches?
The pain. Oh, the coaches?
The pain?
I was actually going to yeah, we'll talk about let's do that. All the pain. Pain everywhere.
Yep.
Jameis Winston. The coaches, man, yeah, Aaron Glenn, our D coordinator, goes over to the Jets. Great move he's now a head coach. And then also Ben Johnson goes in division and becomes a head coach for the Chicago Bears with Caleb Williams and the crew. Now, I will get this out the way. If you're salty about that, I understand. It's kind of in the wounds. It's right across the street. You're going to play him twice a year. And then if you think Ben Johnson wasn't coaching well in the playoffs, Lions fans, because I'm one of them too, our defense got their ass beat. And I think we scored in the 30s for points. We had one of the best performances out of all the playoffs. This was just a really hurt defensive crew. Please don't take it out on Ben. But if you want to hate Ben on Sunday when we play him, do your thing. But these are two awesome coaches leaving the roster. This will make a much bigger difference than we're going to say today, honestly. Like, inside the building, I know they're feeling it. They won't admit it. Dan Campbell's a really good rallier and a good motivation of men. But the two biggest brains in the building just left.
Yeah, Campbell's more of a culture setter. He's more of a I'm going to get the team ready to go. Ben Johnson's replacement will be John Morton, who was and I'm reading this off a website, a Lions senior offensive assistant in 2022, and he went to Denver and was their passing game coordinator in 2023 and 2024. He was there with Bo Nix. Now he's going to be your team's offensive coordinator. And defensively speaking, Kelvin Shepard. He was with the Detroit Lions the past 5 years, and this is his first time now being the defensive coordinator. Previously was linebackers coach, outside linebackers coach, somebody who worked with Jack Campbell, Alex Anzalone, and all those guys. So you're not bringing in foreigners, essentially. You're bringing in guys who have been on the team, have been there, done that. But it's not Ben Johnson, and it's not Aaron Glenn. So we'll see. Right now it's a downgrade, but who knows? Maybe it could end up being a potential upgrade as time goes on. But there's some big shoes to fill.
Totally, and it'll take time. Like, Ben Johnson was from within the building. We have to remember. Yeah, it's just
true.
Well, odds we get another one, pretty damn low. But hopefully these guys, they don't. The thing is, Metro, they don't have to be exceptional, right? It's very rare when you get a coach like that. If they're average and you let this culture do its thing, the team should be just fine.
Yeah, so much talent on this team. It's kind of impossible to have them completely fail. So as long as, well, I shouldn't say that because the Eagles, before their Super Bowl run, had 2 terrible coordinators and they went down the tube. So
this is true.
let's hope it's not like that.
Knock on wood.
If not, then in 2026 you guys will be Super Bowl champions. So take that as you will.
We'll take that shit.
Free agency?
Yeah, let's do it, man. I got it pulled up right here. I'm going to go through the Spark Notes, the big acquisition and releases. Carlton Davis heads out the door, our corner. We released Zadarius Smith, the edge, and released Jalen Reeves-Maybin. And then we signed DJ Reed, the cornerback, to a 3-year, $48 million deal. Re-signed Derek Barnes to a 3-year, $25 million deal. Levi Onwuzurike, 1 year, $5 million. Davenport, 1 year, $4 million. Tim Patrick, how could I forget? 1 year, $4 million. Skip to another year. Craig Reynolds. That's pretty much the whole roster at that point. But lots of solid signings, lots of 1-year deals. What does that tell you, Metro, when you see 8 to 9 1-year deals on a team?
It tells me they're not willing to commit long term to some of these guys. Also tells me they want to have financial flexibility for the future.
Yeah.
Honestly, kind of I don't want to say boring, but a bit of a quiet offseason for the Lions. You bring in DJ Reed, which is a good pickup, but you lose Carlton Davis, who was pretty darn good as well. That kind of sucked, but DJ Reed might be a little bit better. Roy Lopez, Avonte Maddox. The nice thing is they were able to kind of get ahead of some of these bigger contracts like Derek Barnes, and bringing back Levi was smart. So, yeah, a lot of 1-year deals, even with their free agents. Not a lot of them are here for the long run. Obviously, you want to make sure you secure Derek Barnes and DJ Reed. But, in terms of their free agency, they didn't really have to do too much, and I feel like they did a good enough job.
That's right. They kept the depth on this team and also built some up and really stacked it in the draft. Like, their draft was super unusual. Do you want to cover anything else on, not uneventful, what would you grade this offseason for the Lions, like just for the free agency period? Curious.
I feel like they really didn't address the edge rushing room, which I really would have liked to have seen them do either in the draft or in free agency. And, with hindsight of knowing that they really didn't address that in the draft too seriously, I kind of wish they would have made a move. Now, granted, they're still in the Trey Hendrickson conversation. I've heard some speculation about that. And if they can get Trey Hendrickson, man, those 2 white boys coming off the edge could be kind of nasty. Just kind of throwing it out there. But I just have a hard time, they're going to be relying so heavily on Marcus Davenport and Hutchinson coming off a broken leg. So that'll be interesting. But, in general, feel like it was solid. I feel like DJ Reed's a slight upgrade over Carlton Davis. You bring in some depth options. You don't really lose anything too seriously. So this gets C+, B-, at least for free agency.
Well said. Well said. I'm right there with you. Just solid, good maintenance. Didn't mess anything up, right? And also filled in the gaps that left, like Carlton Davis.
Yeah.
Let's go to their 2025 draft if you're ready. In the first round, let's go through all their picks. First round, we get Tyleik Williams, the Ohio State D tackle. Very interesting pick. Second round, Tate Ratledge, the Georgia guard. Third round, we trade not 1, not 2, but technically 2 third-round picks to move up in the third round to get Isaac Tesla in the third, the speed demon, 6'4", beast of a wide receiver. Just a freak athlete is what he is. That's pretty much all he is. He's a ball of clay. Fifth round, we get Miles Frazier, the LSU guard. Sixth round, Ahmed Hassan, the edge. And then seventh, we go Dan Jackson, the safety. And then seventh again, Dominic Lovett, the Georgia wide receiver. Metro, what were some of your favorite picks from this draft? And also, what kind of value did you like from this?
Favorite pick actually is my favorite value here as well. It's Tate Ratledge. He is just a perfect fit for this team. I'll be honest with you, I'm not the biggest fan of this draft. But at the same time, if there was a team that I trusted to draft in an unorthodox way, I would trust the Lions because they did that with Jack Campbell and Jahmyr Gibbs. Obviously, a lot higher picks, and those end up working out big time for them. They've done it in the past where I've kind of questioned some moves or some picks, and they typically work out. This is one of those situations where I'm kind of questioning some things, but at the same time, who am I to judge? Because they've done a stellar job so far. So I'll bounce it off to you. What was your favorite pick of the draft? And can we talk about the Isaac Tesla trade? Because that one just kind of stands out to me as confusing.
Would absolutely love to. Let's start with my favorite is I'm going to go Tate with you. I thought that was fantastic. The Tyreek Williams pick on draft night was like, really?
Yeah.
We have Reader and we have McNeil and we got Tyreek. Okay, interesting. Maybe they saw what happened last year and they said, if we have a Super Bowl window, we're not messing this up again. We're going to have the depth. And maybe that's where and it was just the best player on the board. I also heard a rumor because I was looking a lot into this stuff. I'm like, why did we take Tyreek in the first? I like the pick, just why? Apparently, he rushed the passer way more, like, in practice. Like, he had pass rush skills. He never got to put on full display because he was a D tackle. But apparently the film's pretty nasty. He was just, like, sending out his, like, his own huddle to, like, each NFL team. So that's a complete rumor. But there's more upside to Tyreek that we might expect is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, Tyreek he's more of a disruptor as a pass rusher, but he's also very good against the run. So he kind of fits with this team. I don't want to say needs, but already kind of has. And I guess you get a young depth option who will be a starter long term. And again, like you mentioned, with the team that was just plagued with injuries last year, this could be one of those situations where they say, you know what, let's get ahead of a contract. Let's get ahead of some injuries. Bring in Tyreek. It was a bit of a questionable pick, but at the same time, I don't know. I mean, you look at the value there. What was it, the 20th overall pick? Like, who else would you have taken? I mean, you don't really need a linebacker like Jahad Campbell. You don't really need tackle.
At Pluckers, they do the thing where you have to announce it before the actual pick. I said Mike Green because I think he's a great football player. Little that I know, he had a whole scandal and legal issues. So
that put him down to the back end of round 2.
Yeah, and that's just not going to fit in the culture.
Yeah, honestly, you kind of like look down the board after that pick. You're like, who would they have taken? I guess the only one to me that I would have taken who went like middle of the second would be like Nick Scorin. That would have been the one that I would have went with.
Same.
Or no, Donovan Ezeraku. That's who I would have went.
Dude, Ezeraku would have been sweet. Can't lie. They went
with Tyreek Williams, though. It was a weird pick at the time. Felt a bit like I don't know, like not necessarily addressing a huge need, but at the same time, you can never go wrong with big dudes up the middle. Tate Ratledge is like the perfect fit for this offense. He's just
poetry.
Yeah, it's just a great fit. He's going to be your Kevin Zeitler guy. Now, the Isaac Tesla trade is weird.
You want to talk about it?
What did they give up? I can't remember exactly what they gave up.
I'll get the actual numbers. They traded 2 extra thirds on top of moving up in the third to get Isaac Tesla. So they traded their 2026 third and their 2027, I think. Let me see.
That one was bizarre. Early third-round pick, and on ESPN was ranked 157. I know on PFF he was also ranked like late hundreds, mid-100s, something along those lines. And this could be a situation where maybe there was other teams interested in him and they were just like enamored with him and they had to get him. It's just, I don't know, trading up for a guy that a lot of people probably saw as a late day 2, maybe early day 3 guy, and you trade up a lot of picks to get him, especially when receiver wasn't their biggest need. I thought they would be trading up for an edge rusher. Then they made the move. Now, he'll be your backup. I wonder if he might be like their long-term replacement for Jamison Williams.
That's the answer. That's where that's where I was going to go as well, dude. That is 100% what this is. And like, I love JMO, and I have nothing against them, but they are getting ahead of. They've already paid. They've paid Amon-Ra. They've paid Penei Sewell. They've paid McNeil. They're going to pay Hutch. That's why they're doing 1-year deals. They've paid Goff. You can't pay everybody, right? So it has to stop somewhere. And if they can supplement that with a burner off the edge who's also 6'4", if we can develop this guy because we see talent in him, and he grew up a Lions fan too. I don't think that matters when it comes down to playing football, but it's just cool for the culture. That could be a potential replacement to save you some cash. So that's the answer. Yeah. I'll let you talk again. Sorry, but that's the answer. No. It's a possible JMO replacement.
100%. No, I totally agree with you. I still feel like, wow, in round 3.
Dude, you want to hear the trade? They fucking paid. Sorry.
I heard it. I heard it was a lot.
It was like when this went through, I was like, who the hell are we getting? We went up 32 spots. So we went from 102 to 70, and we trade away 2 2026 third rounders. We had 2 apparently. Ooh. We receive a 2026 sixth pick and then a 6th round pick this year and the 70th pick, Isaac Tesla. So that's rich, man. That is I think the Giants traded up in the first for cheaper than that. Like 2/3
something like that. Yeah.
2/3 is expensive. So they must see a lot in this guy. And also, like you said, this is one of those drafts to where if I knew nothing about the Lions and I was just looking, you remember how one of my favorite not strategies, but like exercises to do is just look at teams, take away the logo, and just put numbers to them and be like, do I like this draft? The answer would be no for the Detroit Lions. But I trust this front office, and that is what's pulling it through for me.
Yeah, for me, we're talking in hindsight here, but when you look at the picks taken after Isaac Tesla, Landon Jackson, Azariah Thomas, Shavon Ravel, Princely Amon-Mielen, receiving wise, Jalen Noel. You could have also went with a Kevin Winston Jr. I just think there's a lot of talent. Wyatt Milam also still there. Like a lot of talent was on the board there that this team could really use. And to go for a project receiver who, let's admit it, he's a complete project.
He is.
With I don't want to call it a premier pick, but a top 100 pick, felt a little rich for me, especially having to trade up to get him. But outside of that, the rest of their draft was, depth bodies, rotational guys. Miles Frazier, we'll see if he can develop. Ahmed, how do I say it? Ahmed Hassan.
It's like Hassan or something?
Yeah. Edge rusher from Boise State. We'll see if he can develop. Again, that also kind of felt like a bit of a reach too, if I remember correctly. And then Dan Jackson, Dominic Lovett. We'll see what those guys can present. So, what would you grade their draft? Now, take into account you're talking about the Lions. So use the logo here.
Use the logo here. If I'm using the logo, it's a B-. I'm not using the logo, and you give up 3 third-rounders to go up and get Tesla, it's like a C-.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same range. With the logo taken into account, I'm at like a C+, B-. With the logo not taken into account, I'm at like a D+, C- range, something along those lines. For me, I feel like there's a lot of reaches here. Honestly, every single pick outside of maybe Tate Rattledge was kind of a bit of a reach.
That's what we do, man.
But again, you're right.
We're reach central.
The guys reached on Jack Campbell, and he's arguably a top 10 linebacker. Reached on Jahmyr Gibbs, big time, by the way, and he might be the best running back in the league. And yeah, they figured it out, and they did it last year with who's the corner you guys took last year from Bama?
Terran Arnold. We traded up.
Yeah, and we'll see if it works out. So yeah, I thought, look, if you put the logo there, makes you feel a bit more comfortable. But if this was the, I don't know, Cleveland Browns, I'd be sweating bullets.
Couldn't have said it better. The only thing they needed from this draft, was a guard, and they got it. Edge would be really nice, like you said, but we needed a guard, and it worked out. So you can't fail when you do that.
Yep. Do you want to talk about? Want to move over to their offense now?
Yeah, dude. Let's talk about their lineups, offense and defense. Starting at the offense, let's go to the wide receiver room. We have Tim Patrick, Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown. The O-line, left tackle Taylor Decker, left guard Christian Mahogany, center Frank Ragnow, right guard Tate Rattledge, the second-round pick, and then right tackle All-Pro Penei Sewell. At tight end, we have Sam Laporta, and then quarterback, we have Jared Goff, as we know pretty well. And then running back, we have Jahmyr Gibbs. And I can't forget David Montgomery. Overall, this team is the same, like literally the exact same from last season. But they're missing a coordinator, which is going to be bigger than we think. I bet we'll talk about where they finish this year in a minute. And they added a right guard that's pretty good. They also lost one too. So like copy and paste from last year. Everyone got more experienced or a year older, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it'll be a top 5-ish offense if we assume the coordinator's good. Tate Rattledge steps in for Zeitler. You lose the experience, but you get more youth. You might get a bit more athleticism there too. Mm-hmm. You bring in Tim Patrick. He's been experienced. He's been in the league for years now. You kind of know what you're getting from him. I think there's really 2 ways you can look at what you talked about. You could look at it in the sense of like we're experienced, we're getting more experience, we're getting older, and we're better prepared for adversity. Or you could look at it and say we're getting older and maybe we're getting a bit complacent right now. So it could be either side. Now, I do think with Dan Campbell, with how last year ended, I don't think this team will be complacent. I think they'll be locked and loaded to go. It's a tough schedule. We'll get to that here in a moment, but they'll be just fine. It's literally the same offense plus Tim Patrick plus Tate Rattledge. There's Like, no differences. Maybe Isaac Tesla gets some run. We'll see, but I wouldn't put betting money on it.
Tesla's just going to be running go routes all season, and that's just
dude.
fine, dude. He's going to be flying.
He's going to make a play this year, and it might be a very important play, but he's just going to run like a 75-yard post and just take us to the house.
Just house that shit. I love when Goff throws a deep, man, because he has to get every bit of it. He's like, it's J-Mo's like, I don't know, 60 yards down the field off the snap. It's going to be fun.
But he's money with it, though.
Honestly, Jared gets it there. When he decides, it's like, all right, let's ride. He lets it fly.
Dude, he was a first overall pick for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, when he wants to let it rip, he lets it rip. When he needs to get a ball to a certain spot, he can get it there. He's limited with his game. I mean, let's be honest. Jared Goff's a good quarterback, but he's also very much helped with a super talented team and a great set of coaches. But at the same time, and I've been saying this for a while, I've always felt like Jared Goff was kind of underrated in a sense. Like, look, you have to have a quarterback that can get the ship rolling. You have to have a captain. If you put Trey Lance out there in quarterback, even with all this great talent, that team's not very good. Or let me rephrase that: they're good, but they're not 15-2.
Yeah,
right. They're like 7-10 or whatever. But you put in a Goff who's experienced, who is for the most part pretty consistent. You know what you're getting from him. You go 15-2 and you make a deep playoff run. So yeah, look, it's Jared Goff. You know what you're getting from him.
Yeah, love to hear it. Where would you predict this team ranks this year on offense? Like from 1 to 32. Last year they ranked 1, aka first in points.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be first again. Now I wouldn't be surprised if
How
they were
dare
first.
you? What are you talking about? All jokes.
Look, you lose Ben Johnson, that sucks. If Ben Johnson was here, I'd be like, yeah, they'll probably be number one. But they'll be top 5. Like they'll be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, one of those. It'll be a great offense. They'll average 30 points a game. They'll beat up on some teams, and they'll be in some shootouts at times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'll probably throw them at like 8, which is still fantastic.
Do you think, and this might be a long shot, do you think Amon-Ra can get to like Offensive Player of the Year status? Because he's close.
I don't know how this coach calls plays.
True.
To be honest. At least like with Ben Johnson, what made him so great is like anybody, and I mean anybody. You could have Dan Skipper catching a screen pass on 3rd down. And he just did not give a damn. So he really distributed the ball. Amon-Ra still got his, of course, but I don't think anyone's going to get hyper-targeted just because there's too many decent options.
Yeah, he had 1,500 in 2023, 1,200 last year. To realistically be in the conversation, he'd have to get 1,700, which...
That's right. That's rich.
We'll see. You'd have to see what the coordinator's thinking, and if he's just like, hey, feed Amon-Ra as much as you can, which could be great, by the way. But at the same time, though, if you are relying so heavily on one player, there's also flaws to that, too. I think if I was a Lions fan, I'd actually prefer Amon-Ra to be around that 1,200 to 1,300 range rather than be that 1,700 guy, because when you get to the playoffs, you become so dependent on that one guy. As a Cowboys fan, I could tell you firsthand, when CeeDee Lamb ain't cooking, bro, we're screwed. So...
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well said. And Amon-Ra, people don't probably notice this. He gets hurt a lot, and he plays through injuries all the time. I mean, he'll mess up his ankle or his foot, and they'll put a plate in there or just tape it up to hell. That guy is a warrior. So like you said, maybe it's okay if he doesn't go all offense.
He was on was it that Netflix show on receivers? Was he on that? I was watching that, and he had that injury or something like that. This dude is, I mean... You wouldn't expect it because he's like, what, 5'11", 6 foot, probably not even over 200 pounds, whatever he might be. But, dude, he is just a dog. Like, he is – I think it's hard to find a more passionate receiver in the NFL, like somebody that will play through anything. Like, I don't think there's another guy out there that's like that. Like CeeDee's tough as hell, but – and A.J. Brown is too, but, I mean, some of the stuff Amon-Ra was going through were just crazy. So, I got lots of respect for him. I got lots of respect for this entire Lions offense, and – hopefully Sam Laporta can stick around and be a huge part of this offense, because it felt like last year it took him a little bit.
Totally. And it'll work out. We'll just see. Let's see what the coordinator likes to do, right? Do you want to pivot to our defense?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sure. Let's do it. We run a base 4-2. Let's talk about him. Aiden Hutchinson, as of like 4 days ago, is fully cleared, good to go. He's running hoops again. This man's ready to run. DJ Reader at nose tackle, Aleem McNeil at D tackle, and I got to mention him because he's our first-round pick. Tyreek Williams is sitting behind those two. We have plenty of depth right there. At DN, we have Marcus Davenport, linebacker Alex Anzalone. Middle linebacker at the mic, we have Jack Campbell. At linebacker on the outside, we have Derek Barnes, who we just re-signed to a 3-year deal. Teron Arnold at cornerback. Cornerback, again, we have DJ Reed, the signing from this year from the New York Jets. Safety, Brian Branch. Free safety, All-Pro Kirby Joseph. And then nickelback, Amik Robertson, who had a pretty damn good year last year. This defense is freaking sick. At least I've looked at, they always say paper doesn't play. And every time I looked at my Lions, my pretty Lions, since I was like 8 years old back in 2008, I was like, oh, we're going to be good. We're going to be good. We're going to be good. Seeing all pros, Pro Bowl, it's riddled all over the defense. These guys can bowl. We did learn last year that if you lose Hutchinson, this whole thing falls apart real fast, right?
Yep.
So we don't have crazy depth. That's why we made the move for Tyleek Williams. What is your analysis on this defense, Metro? How good do you think they're going to roll out this year?
Very talented defense. I do think there is one, I don't know if I want to call it a flaw, but one thing that I have noticed with this Lions team, and it reminds me, and I'm going to refer back to my Cowboys here, back in 2022, 21, even 23 a little bit, the Cowboys defense was consistently ranked in the top 10, and there'd be certain games where they would just shut out dudes and play unbelievable.
Lights
and then
out.
they'd go up against a really good team and almost inexplicably give up 30. And that's sort of what I get from the Lions here, where they will, when you're a bad team, they will make you look bad. When you're a mediocre team or even a middle of the pack team, they'll make you look bad. But once you get against a good offense, and I'll kind of use what they did last year in 2024. Now, obviously injuries later in the season, but specifically early on in the year versus San Francisco, they gave up 34. Versus Buffalo, they gave up 48. Versus Green Bay, 31. And those are all elite offenses. But then you look at the bad offenses, right? The Jacksonville's 6, Colts 6. Minnesota in week 1, I guess that's pretty impressive. Actually, no. Sorry, this is post-injury. So let me go back to week 1. So week 1 versus the Rams, they gave up 20. Week 4 against the Seahawks, 29. Minnesota, 29. So kind of following the trend there. Now, granted, after the injuries, though, they gave up a lot of points. So there's some volatility at times with this defense. Definitely want to clean that up. But, I mean, it's nitpicky stuff here for me. This is one of the better defenses out there. There's so much talent. I think, where would you rank them? They were, what would you say, close to top 10?
Yeah. I would throw
Pre-injury?
Yeah. No injuries. They were ranked 8th last time I checked. Yes, they are going to be 7th from points allowed. So, really good year. That means throughout the year you were probably playing at 4, and then everyone got hurt, so it slipped down to 7. So,
Yeah.
on the edge of league average, but definitely top 10, doing a great job. This year, I bet they finish the units. If you'd ask if it's better or worse, I think the unit's better. And I know they're going to be more healthy. I think it's going to be a top 10 defense. I'll put them right back at the same line. It'll be 7 for defense, and I had offense at about 8. So top 10 each category. What about you?
My biggest concern is the pass rush, especially if
Totally.
it takes Aiden a little bit of time to get going. There just isn't a consistent pass rusher opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. Marcus Davenport has never been that guy. Muhammad can get you a few sacks, but I don't know. Josh Pascal, same thing. I have a feeling you're going to have to rely on some of your linebackers and rely on your interior defensive linemen a lot. But outside of that, you have a solid secondary with some great linebackers. And if Aiden Hutchinson returns to form, which they're going to need him to, but if he can return to form, it's a solid defense. They'll be top 10. And again, just you got to find that consistency throughout the whole season. Of course, when you go up against good teams, you're going to give up some points, which fortunately you have an offense that can go toe-to-toe with anybody. So it's a good team. Top 10 defense, top 5 offense. You'll probably be a top 5 team.
Can I point out, on a team we just absolutely meat-rided for about 30 minutes, can I point out their biggest flaw, without a doubt?
Which team? The Lions?
The Lions, yeah.
Yeah, which one?
Anytime we face a mobile quarterback, I mean, even Brock Purdy, who's got some scoot to him, we cannot contain or put pressure on said quarterback. They light us the hell up. Because like you said, Aiden is a really good pass rusher. He can't do everything. And we don't have someone with enough juice or speed to track him down, like some of these guys do in other divisions. Like the Jets, they load up on those guys because they have people that can do it in their conference. So that is my biggest fear. If we run into a Purdy, which sounds silly, but if we run into a Purdy, run into a Lamar Jackson during the season,
Daniels.
Exactly. They torch us. So that's the only call out. Besides that, this team is aces, and we're feeling real good. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I think regarding mobile quarterbacks, for me, that's more of a schematic thing you can kind of fix up as long as you have a guy who's athletic. I kind of think in those situations, you can maybe put a Brian Branch out there. Jack Campbell's a decent enough athlete.
He could do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's options there. You just have to have a nice scheme for it. If it's also kind of difficult, especially like a 4-2, 4-3 style defenses, because you have these lighter boxes compared to like a 3-4 where you have 7-man boxes, 8-man boxes, and so on and so forth. But when you're running a 4-2, you got 6 guys, and if you don't have a guy out there spying the quarterback, he's going to burn you sometimes. So, but yeah, it's a good team. They're going to be a fun team to watch next year.
Well said, man. You ready to do the best part of this show where we predict the schedule, go week by week? You ready to go, Metro?
Yes, so he's going to go from week 1 to week 18, and I'll predict any or all the games. If I can't find a winner, if I'm too stuck 50-50, I'll throw a bone to Cade and let him pick. Although he might be biased since he's a Lions fan. So
I'm extremely biased, so let's do this shit.
Maybe not this one.
Cade, you're getting benched for this one, but it's game time. Week 1, it's Sunday, September 7th. At Green Bay. Oh, real quick preface. The Lions have the second hardest schedule tied out of the entire league. And you're about to find out why and what teams are about to play. Let's do this. Week 1, Green Bay on the road. Who's winning this? And Metro, you can break my little heart. I don't mind, dude. Give the fans the facts because this is going to be a tough one.
Yeah, they're not going to go 15-2. That's
no, hell no.
Spoiler. Fun little fact, this Green Bay game has the highest ticket prices on ESPN at $282.
Oof. Yeah, they do.
Those are probably like super high nosebleeds.
Yep.
Regarding this game, it's in Green Bay. The crowd's going to be crazy. It's going to be loud. It's going to be fortunately it's a I guess an afternoon game, but it's not a nighttime game, so you don't have to worry too much about that. It's going to be hard to play in those conditions with that fan base. With that said, I think the Lions are better than Green Bay. What was the Lions' record versus Green Bay last year? 2-0?
I think they swept them, yeah.
Yeah, 2-0, and they even beat them when they were banged up as hell in Week 14. So give me the Detroit Lions here.
One for the Motor City Kitties. Let's go on to Week 2 versus the Chicago Bears. Ben Johnson coming to town. This one will be at Ford Field. How does this one shake out? This is like the game that... This is every single media outlet that cares about the NFC North will be obsessing over this game because this is just poetry.
Yeah. Sadly, Ben Johnson will probably get booed out of the stadium here.
Which is messed up.
Yeah, well, you decided to go to Chicago. That's on you.
This is true.
Yeah, you could have went anywhere else. Jacksonville, we needed a head coach. You could have become a Cowboy. No, you went to Chicago Bears, which I don't blame you. Very talented team, very good team. Give me the Lions here. Lions have been pretty good historically against Chicago. Yes, Ben Johnson has the insides to Detroit, but also Detroit has the insides to Ben, so it's kind of a weird one. This defense for Detroit is going to be so used to seeing what Ben Johnson's going to run. They're going to be like, oh, we did this against them in practice. So I could see a world where Caleb actually struggles quite a bit in this matchup, so give me the Detroit Lions.
Love it. We're 2-0. God bless you, Metro. We're going into the Week 3. No. It is Monday Night Football at, oh dear Lord, the Baltimore Ravens. How does this one shake out, Mr. Metro?
Oh, this is tough. I feel like, didn't the Lions play the Ravens last year? No, they versed the Bills.
Every time, it was 2 years ago, and it was horrific.
2022. I was like, I feel like they went against the Ravens and got smoked or something like that.
We did.
Maybe it was 2023.
Like
Anyways,
40 to 8. It was bad.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup. As you mentioned, you're going up against the team. 38-6 in 2023.
That sounds all right.
It's in Baltimore. Crowd's going to be crazy. It's on a Monday, prime time. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but this is a tough matchup for Detroit. Hopefully it's a Super Bowl matchup this year. Give me a close victory for Baltimore.
Ooh, you got to love it. The Super Bowl hint was that'd be delicious. 2-1. We're going to the Week 4. At home, very nicely. We have Cleveland Browns rolling into Detroit. How does this one shake out, Metro?
Lions probably put belt to ass on this one. They're gonna win by double digits. We'll see if Shador's in, if Gabriel's in, or Flacco. It don't matter.
Who's getting sacrificed?
Yeah, who's? Well, honestly, this would be where they'd put Shador in. I don't think the Browns want Shador at all. So I feel like
they'll be like, all right, Shador, it's your time. They're like, what the hell? Aiden's ready to go. What are you talking about?
No shot they put in Dylan Gabriel here because he's their long-term backup option. No shot he plays. I could see them sacrificing Pickett or Flacco, but if they're 0-3 at this point and the Browns fans are getting hot, I could see them throwing Shador in there just for them to get smoked, and then Browns go, let me see, we tried to tell you, you ain't ready, which would be dastardly, by the way.
Yeah, that'd be messed up.
No matter who's the quarterback, it could be Deshaun, it could be any of them. Browns losing by 20.
Well said. We're on to week 5 at Cincinnati. Joe Burrow, redemption arc. Who wins this game?
Such a fun game. Such a good game here. This will be, if I'm going to predict any of these games to be a complete shootout, this is it. Like, this could be a 50-50 game, just like back and forth, back and forth. Both quarterbacks have 400, 500 yards. But when it comes down to it, which defense do I trust to get a turnover or get a stop? Clearly not the Cincinnati Bengals. So give me the Lions to win in what should be, hopefully, a really fun matchup.
LFG. Let's go to week 6. On the road again. Oh, boy. At Kansas City. It's Sunday. It's Sunday night football. Metro, give me the goods. Who's winning this?
Dog, this is tough. Detroit is a better roster, but I trust Mahomes so much. But at the same time, Mahomes is not, at least recently, hasn't been this incredible regular season performer. He's gotten the jobs done. They've won games. I mean, obviously, they were 16-1 last year or something like that. They win games, but sometimes they're not very pretty. Man, this would be a statement game for the Lions. They really could use this one because you lose to the Ravens, which was probably your first potential statement game. I'm going to go with I'm going to go with the Lions in this one.
Are you sure?
Lions, I think it's not an upset because I think the Lions are just as good. And, I don't know. The one weakness to Kansas City is the pass rush, and I don't know if Detroit has it. Oh, you know what? I'm taking it back. Give me the Chiefs. I talked myself out of it.
I should have shut the hell up. All right. All right. Here we go. It is, am I doing my math right? We were 4-2. Is that correct?
Yes. 4-2.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're 4-2 on the season. Going to, actually, we're at home. Tampa Bay is coming to the crib, and we're going to play Monday Night Football, another primetime game back-to-back. So we get an 8-day break, an extra day, which kind of helps. How are we feeling about this big time? Tampa Bay can play, man. How are we feeling about this game?
I'm feeling pretty good if I'm a Lions fan. Although Tampa Bay is just one of those teams that they're tough, they're gritty. It's going to be a close matchup. It'll go down to the wire. I think Detroit probably gets ahead early and just kind of barely holds on by the end. So give me the Detroit Lions here.
Let's go. 5-2. We go into the bye week feeling real good. No one thinks we're the best. No one thinks we're the worst. We're definitely in playoff contention. Into week 9, we have the Minnesota Vikings. Casual, great noon game. We are at home. Who wins this?
I'm going to go with the Lions. They're just as talented as Minnesota. I trust Goff a bit more. I kind of expect Minnesota to be like a step down from where they were last year. Like they were, a 15-win team last year, which was insane. Mm-hmm. They won't win 15 games. They'll be more like 10-12. And I think Detroit might have the upper hand in this matchup.
Heck yeah. Week 10. This one's a sweet one. At Washington on the road. It's going to be a 325 game. This is the playoff match, if y'all that casuals don't know. This was the playoff game that was tragic, to say the least. Except it was at our house. This one will be at theirs. How do you see this one shaking out, Metro? Because they clearly apply to our weaknesses.
So I saw a TikTok, maybe it was today or yesterday, that they called it the Stroud factor, the Stroud effect or something like that, where the Lions were, or not the Lions, the Texans overperformed their roster and then came back down to earth the next year. I think we'll see something similar to that with Washington, where Daniels will be incredible. He'll be fine. He's great. But the rest of the roster will kind of come back down to earth a little bit. Not saying Washington's going to miss the playoffs or be a shitty team or anything like that. They'll be fine. They'll be good. They'll probably make the playoffs. But they'll be a step down from what they were last year, especially how they looked in the playoffs. This Daniels matchup versus Detroit is tough, but hopefully you would hope that this Lions team is just motivated as hell, hopefully healthy. They were completely a shell of themselves in that playoff matchup defensively. And just, no more Ben Johnson there, so you're not going to have a trick player that gets turned over for a pick. So give me the Lions to win this one to get their redemption.
Let's go. Redemption arc. It's sweet. Now we're back on the road. Week 11. We go into Philadelphia, the reigning Super Bowl champs. Who wins this game?
We're 7-2 at this point.
We are 7-2, correct.
Man, this would be. Would you say you'd be a little upset if you were the Lions at this point, like as a fan, because you've lost probably your 2 toughest matchups, but you've been beating good teams?
As a Lions fan who's used to sadness, I'm still extremely happy. But you're right. Yeah. There will be spoiled fans that are like, what the hell? So, yes, True. The answer is yes. It's just for me personally, I'm good.
I think it depends how they look against Baltimore and Kansas City. Like, if those are two really close that can go either way, you'll feel fine. Philadelphia is a tough matchup. They're almost impossible to stop.
I don't think we've played them in recent memory. Like, I want to play them. It is. They are built like us. They got more pass rush, but they are built like us. They do it better than us. I want to play them bad. But go on. What were you saying?
Like I said, this is a really interesting game. I'm trying to look back to see when the last time you guys played the Eagles. Probably 2021. You guys lost 44-6.
I was at that game.
Were you really?
I was. It was a sad day. So my point being, when we lose 2 games to the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't give a damn.
Yeah, true. You guys were 0-8 at that stage. That was a rough year. Man, they have some fun games this year. This is it's almost like a dream schedule, some of these matchups. Like, you get the Chiefs, you get the Bengals, the Ravens, the Buccaneers. Like, this is a fun schedule, but it's also, like, tough as hell. Like, some of these wins are so tight. I'm gonna go with Philadelphia. I think just Philly has everything that would hurt this Lions team. They have a passing attack that's dominant, a dominant ground game, a rushing quarterback, a defense that's opportunistic, that can create turnovers, can make big plays. I think Philadelphia wins here, and I think they win somewhat convincingly.
Well said. We are on to the next week, week 12.
Finally.
God bless America. We're at home, and the Giants come to town. Speaking of hard schedules, the Giants have the hardest schedule in the entire NFL, and every time I feel like we have a hard one, you just look at them and you smile. So they're going to be hobbling into this game. But Metro, if you predict an upset, I won't be mad. At home, New York Giants, who wins this game?
Well, if Brian Dable's job's on the line, Jackson Dart might be the quarterback, which, look, this Giants team can be competitive. They have actually a pretty solid roster, but it pales in comparison to Detroit right now. They're still a year or 2 away, so I'm going to get the Detroit Lions to win here, but don't be surprised if, New York has like a 10-0 lead early on, and then the Lions have to scrap for a victory here. I wouldn't be surprised if this is kind of one of those, your foot's off the wheel and you have to wake up mid-game and have to put it together.
All I'll say is this is a game New York has one thing that scares me, and it's their D-line. If we get behind in this game at any point and Abdul Carter is just coming for our throats, pause, oh my goodness, we're in trouble. We are in big trouble if it's just Abdul Carter running pass rush all game long. So like you said, if they get a lead, I'm terrified.
All right, what's my record so far?
The record's going to be 8-3.
8-3, okay. So they have the Green Bay Packers on a Thursday, a short turnaround here.
Yes.
I'm going to have the Packers winning.
Okay. I how dare you, but you're correct.
Look, short turnaround.
Yeah, you're correct. It's 8-4, and we're going into December, and it doesn't get easier in the back half of this schedule. Thursday Night Football, again, very strange. The Dallas Cowboys at home.
Dude, we should totally stream this game. I'm a Cowboys fan. You're a Lions fan.
Brother,
it's on a Thursday too, by the way.
That's a fantastic idea. Done.
We got to stream this one.
Honestly, if I can for work, I'll drive up and we'll watch together if possible.
Hell yeah, dude! December 4th. Look,
book it.
Look, both these teams might be lobbying for a playoff spot. This is going to be a really fun matchup, especially because these two teams do not like each other.
They always go at it, dude.
Dude, 2023 Cowboys get the win in like the craziest, honestly, luckiest fashion. And then last year the Lions just put belt to ass. We're taunting us. We're dancing on our corpse.
Yep.
And Cowboys fans, we're gonna hold a grudge. It's at Dallas.
And you took Hutchinson from us.
We did. Well, blame him. He's the one that I saw a video. It was just randomly popped up on my feed about how Hutchinson doesn't drive when he sacks. He swings his legs almost. Like when he's diving, you see guys keep their feet on the ground, but Hutchinson literally like Superman jumps to get to the quarterback, and his feet are like flying around. It was the most random video, but I was like, oh, okay, I don't know if that happened in Dallas, but yeah, we did take him away, and you guys were up big at that point too when it happened.
Yeah,
so
I had friends
sucked.
there, and they like the group chat was going crazy, and then Hutch went down. We were just all crying. We're like, season's over.
Dude, that's the worst.
We deserved it. We were having too much fun.
This will be a closer game than it was last year, but I am going to give the victory to the Detroit Lions. They're a slight different category than Dallas. I think Dallas is a playoff contender. I think Detroit's a championship contender. So I'm going to give the win to the Detroit Lions.
Awesome. That means we've now played 13 games, so that math's not right. We are going to be 10-4. Is that good math?
No, 9-4, I think.
9-4. That's correct. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
9-4 in the season. We're going into Week 15 at Los Angeles. We have the Rams, and this team we know very well because of the Goff trade. And it's going to be Sunday at 3 p.m. Who pulls this one out?
They are going up against like every single title contender not named Buffalo. Like,
yeah.
Literally every single one. And even like a ton of playoff contenders too.
We will know how good we are. I can tell you that.
Oh, dude. Yeah. You guys will be battle tested. You guys might be like one-legged as you enter the playoffs, but you guys better hope you can get a bye week or something, or you can take that Week 18 game off. I'm going to give the win to the Lions, though. They have been really solid against the Rams. This one will be very close. Now, granted, Matthew Stafford's got to get one over the Lions at some point. It could be this year. But you know what? I'm going to say this is my 4D chess here. I got the Lions winning the regular season, but I got the Rams winning in the NFC Championship game to go to the Super Bowl. When we do our predictions, I got to remember this. I'm going to write this down. Matthew Stafford, the stories, dude. Matthew Stafford in a Rams uniform going to Detroit Stadium. Devontae Adams coming back. Lambeau Field jumping.
So much pain, but it would be poetry.
That'd be sick.
You got to write that down. That'll happen. Yep. Honestly.
All right, I got the Lions winning though, so they're 10-4 at this point.
Yep, we're 10-4. We're going to the next week. It's December 21st, before Christmas. We have a tight turnaround to our next game. But for this one, at home, Pittsburgh coming to town. And guys, this team, Pittsburgh, yeah, they're not scary like majority of these teams, but they win football games. They just find a damn way. So this is no cakewalk. How do you predict this one, Metro, after you take your lovely sip of water or booze? I don't know what you got in there, buddy.
Water. Funnily enough, this Pittsburgh team is like your third easiest matchup. Like the Browns, Giants, and the Steelers. And if the Steelers have Aaron Rodgers, that's no cakewalk. I mean, they'll be competitive. The Lions, they're going to be fighting for seeding at this point. They'll probably have a playoff spot almost guaranteed to be locked up as long as they win like one or two more. So they kind of have to win this one. There's going to be a lot of pressure on them. Pittsburgh might be competing. We'll see. Give me Detroit.
Let's go. We are now 11-4. Tight turnaround. 4 days, Thursday night football at Minnesota on Christmas Day at 3:30. I know where I'll be. I'll have a hot cocoa, cuddled up by the fire, ready to go. That sounds a little weird, but I'm looking forward to this game is my point. It's going to be a good day.
Yep. It's on Netflix, too.
Oh, yeah, good call out. Netflix game. Who's winning this, Metro?
This sucks. You tell me, are the Lions typically good, at least recently, on like Thanksgiving?
The Lions,
I know last year they had a really close one.
Even when we've been good, we still lose. And not
True.
like just in history. Like I've seen good teams and we just play good teams and we lose. So I wouldn't feel any kind of way if you went Minnesota. Like that's just they're a good team.
Yeah, you're not kidding. 2022, I think on Thanksgiving they lost to Buffalo. Yep. 2023 on Thanksgiving they lost to the Packers. I remember that one. And then 2024 they had a super close competitive game with the Chicago Bears. Now this is on Christmas, not Thanksgiving, but you know.
And also the Bears gave that game away. If you remember, Eberflus messed up the clock.
Oh, that's true. Like they had that one in the bag, and then
they had it.
I remember that. I was at my mom's house, and we were eating dinner, and I was literally like, I sat up off my chair eating. I can't think we were eating at that time, and I'm like screaming, I'm like, timeout, call the timeout. I was like pissed off, dude. And he got fired like a couple days later. Or was that like
he didn't get on the plane back home? Yeah, they said you can hit a bus, buddy. You're not coming back to Chicago.
That was pathetic. I'm going to predict Minnesota to win here. History kind of talks that this Lions team is not great on holidays. and it's a short turnaround. You're going up against a feisty Minnesota team that's probably trying to find a playoff spot as well. It's 50-50. If you want to say Lions win, that's fine. But I'm going to predict Minnesota to at least win one of two.
We are now 11-5, and quick tidbit is completely random. My pops was in a bar the other day, and Eberflus was there, and they were shooting the shit. I thought that was kind of cool, so I wanted to mention
really?
it. Yeah,
Where
real
at?
cute.
Oh, he's in Dallas now.
Yeah, he's in Frisco, yeah.
Hell yeah, my guy.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey.
you ain't calling no timeouts. That's at least.
No clock management for Eberflus. 11-5 on the season. Final game, and it's against Ben Johnson at the Chicago Bears. And if we are 11-5, there are serious seeding. Like, this is home game or no home game, essentially. 11 wins is right on the cusp of that.
So, again, I'm going to theorize the spot they might be at here. This could be a situation where Chicago's like, win and you're in to make the playoffs.
That's right.
Or this could be a situation where, like, if the Lions win, then they win the division. Or if the Lions lose, then, like, the Packers win the division. So this game, I think, will have importance. It's going to be close. I think the Bears will be better in Week 18 than they were in Week 2. But I'm going to stick with the Detroit Lions. I think that it'll be a close game. It'll be probably the best game of that week because a lot of times Week 18 is kind of lame. This game will be very interesting. It should be on primetime TV, which they have so many of those too, by the way. But give me the Lions to go 12-5 on the season.
Let's go. 12-5 to finish the season. Let's have some fun, Metro. This is our first team we predicted to actually make the playoffs, I believe. Let's say you finish 12-5. You're probably playing Tampa Bay. I bet Eagles get the bye week. That's what we'll assume, correct?
Yeah, let me see. NFC, let's look. I think
it's going to be Rams. It's going to be Tampa Bay. It's going to be Washington, maybe. It'll be one of those three.
Yeah, I'm saying I think Eagles get the 1 seed. I think the Lions get the 2 seed, Rams the 3 seed, and Buccaneers the 4 seed. So that would put the Lions against the 5 seed, they would go up against the 7 seed. So that might be Dallas, or that could be Washington. If that's against Dallas, hey,
we're going.
Hey now. Dude,
we're going to the damn game.
Oh, wait,
yeah,
it's in Detroit.
Yeah, I'll let you make some friends. You come with me. We don't have to go to the game. We just go to the bar. It'll be a good time.
Oh, dude, Pluckers? Oh.
Pluckers? Tin roof? Question mark? Run it up?
Yeah, good times.
Guys, this is our prediction, 12-5 for the Detroit Lions. What did you agree with or disagree with? Do you think they'll go, 10-7? You think they'll go 15-2 again? Comment down below. If you love NFL content, we're going to be here all summer long. For most of the media, they're done. We're bringing you new episodes every single Monday and Thursday throughout the summer. Go sub down below for awesome content just like this. Drop a like if you all enjoyed the video. Thank you very much. And lastly, guys, we appreciate you more than you know. Thank you for watching today. Have the best day. Metro, get us out of here.
Thanks, guys, for watching. Thank you, Lions fans. Have a good one.